G'day YouTubers, it's the Saint here, and just signing in so that you know that I'm still alive. Pop for Formaldehyde is also still alive, but he's been busy on a film about Captain Bligh, or Governor Captain Bligh in Sydney, and the Rum Rebellion, which is going to be an exciting film. The Hop will be on a jury, so that'll be worth waiting for. What have I been doing? I've been doing some networking and some writing and organising for different projects around the cross, and also workshopping the future of this channel and King's Cross Tonight and the directions that we can be going. Now, yeah, what sort of things have I seen and done that's interesting? Well, Masters of Horror, another gem, and for those who like horror, again I say that these are the Rolls Royces of DVDs in horror. They are excellent quality, of equal if not better quality than most horror films, even though this is really a series. This one is by John Carpenter, and it is called Cigarette Burns. Now, for those who have been to film school or have looked at Situationists International or have looked at the situation of film and the theory of film and also the process of that, there is an eerie element of film that what you see is, in a sense, not real. What you see now is not real. You don't see me. This is a ghost of me that you see because it is in the ephemeral. You are not looking at me. You are looking at a computer screen. The computer screen has either come through a cable or through the air. The sound of my voice, this is not my voice. At this minute, I could be dead. You wouldn't know that, would you? In the ephemeral, I would like to talk about Sydney and the streets of Sydney, where sometimes things are not what they seem. Sydney is a divided city which is on a former creek called the Tank Stream. It was both the water supply and the sewage system. Pitt Street actually goes over what was the creek. It was quite a sizable creek, almost a river. The Tank Stream, which fed Sydney, came from what is Central Station. That used to be a cemetery. And people used to drink water from the water that came out through the cemetery, and the other off-run came off to Tooth's beer, which gave rise to the saying that the beer had bones in it. It's because the water came through it was filtrated through a cemetery which was under Central Station. Also down the hill here at Woolloomooloo, part of the whole suburb was a creek. And so Sydney, many parts of Sydney are actually built over underground aquifers. There is no cemetery in Sydney. They moved all the graves to Rookwood. The Rocks, an entire suburb, is haunted. And is this aspect of Sydney that is really interesting. It is like parts of Sydney are very haunted. Anyone who's been through the Rocks, particularly the Argyle Cut and the Admiral Duncan Hotel, are some of the most haunted places in Australia, other than the quarantine station on the north side of the harbour. In the ephemeral, give a thought to this as to what is real and what is not, when what you are looking at is not real, it is ephemeral. And when you see clouds of ectoplasm coming down the street of the Rocks for no apparent reason, and you don't know what it is it real I've seen it, and many people in Sydney have in the rocks. And there are many souls in this city that refuse to leave. I'd be interested to know what people think of this about Sydney. I know most of you are atheists, and maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But I find this really intriguing. This is one of the major differences between Sydney and Melbourne. We were never planned in Sydney. It is a destination of diversities, which doesn't make sense because, well, the destination itself was ephemeral. There was never a destination. Melbourne was always a grid and was always planned that way. And from the start, it was a destination and is still a destination. Sydney never was. Okay, with that thought, God bless you all. The same.